The December 2025 meeting of the Murfreesboro Golf Commission will now come to order. I've asked Robert Sane to lead our prayer this morning and lead us in the pledge to the flag. Robert?
Yeah, let's pray. Father, Lord, thank you for letting us be here today, letting us represent our community and making decisions to honor the game of golf here in town, Father. We know it's a small part of your world, but it is part of your world, so we thank you for it. Father, we pray that we can make decisions and all of the city leaders can make decisions that honor you in this town. And we just pray for your guidance and wisdom as we do so. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Robert. Wendy, do we have any public comments? Anybody signed up?
I'm not aware of any.
Okay. Takes care of that. New business. Number one on the agenda this morning is to consider minutes of the September 10th meeting. I think everybody's had a chance to look over those. Any comments or questions on the minutes of the last meeting? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes as presented. Have a approval, Mr. Larry, and have a second. All those in favor, would you please raise your right hand? Opposed? None. Motion carries. Minutes approved as presented.
Good afternoon.
Hey. I forgot about Kurt.
Oh, that hurts.
I'm sorry, Kurt.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Because you're usually here.
I know.
Our second item is the new golf cart fleet purchase. Mr. Trey?
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. So we're almost 5 years in on our current fleet. If you played out there in the last 2 or 3 months, you probably a good chance you've been in a cart that hadn't made it 18 holes. So we got some repeat offenders we tried to just keep from using, but we've got a few that, depending on the day, depending on the temperature, they may not. So tomorrow we're set to take an item to City Council for approval for a new fleet. The 75 club car, golf cars. It'll be close to what's pictured here. That'll be kind of the color, kind of a dark navy blue, they call it sapphire. Similar to what we've got right now, obviously just a different color, but they'll...
Do these come with parking brakes that work?
So,
If you got feet.
I believe, unfortunately, on these, I think the parking brake's gonna be the same. Now, we had an option to upgrade to a lithium golf car, and they would have the electronic brake. However, that was about $200,000 more.
Wow.
So,
You're gonna have to suffer with a break.
you have to park somewhere flat.
Or slow down.
Yes, that's right. So,
But this is the same brand that we've got now?
same brand, these are flooded lead acid. We did look at lithium, both Club Car and Easy Go offer lithium. Both are listed on state contracts, but Club Car, Easy Go no longer offers the flooded lead acid. Club Car offers both. The battery warranty is 4 years with the flooded lead. It's 5 years with lithium. But as many rounds as we do, I mean, the carts don't look great as it is. So after, running them another year, maybe 2 years, you need to run them almost 2 years to get your money's worth out of it. We're just going to stick with what's worked well. We've had good luck out of the batteries. They've made it, like I said, 5 years. Obviously, we were closed for part of that, for renovation, but we've had pretty good luck with them. So we're try again. But
Does that change up the chargers also?
they'll come with new chargers, but I mean, it'll basically be the
Same thing.
Same thing.
So this has still got to be presented to council.
Yeah, just because of the price, so with trade, it'll be $316,248. When we bought the last fleet, we increased cart rates, we set up a sinking fund, so about $275,000 of that, $316,000 is going to be covered. We've already set that money aside kind of as reserve to save up for these. Yeah, so this fleet, it ended up costing 45% more for basically the same thing 5 years later. So, that's maybe something that we'll have to look at each year. I think with, having 4 full years open, I think we'll probably still be okay, but it's something we'll kind of look at each year and see how we're doing in that fund. And, if we keep going at this rate, the next fleet's going to cost $500,000 regardless. So we'll have to, take that into consideration. Right now, we're not looking at a new rate increase or.
Train the time before, that we go 4 years.
That's my understanding. I believe so. Yes, sir.
So could that have something to do with that, such a large increase? Since we went 5, we seem to have so much more trouble in this last year than we had prior to that.
So, well, we didn't use them for about 6-7 months, for the renovation, something like that. So we were trying to stretch it out. If we would have 4 years would have been kind of middle of summer, so we're trying. And we didn't have any issues till really weather started cooling down. Probably October, November is when we started to see a few die. So we have been fortunate enough. Nate and I talked with the city manager about it, and he was just kind of, hey, let's run them until we start to see some issues, and that's kind of when we started seeing issues. So, but yeah, probably. I mean, I think every 4 years though is probably what we'll have to do, especially with how much they're used for sure. I think that's probably what we need to, what we should be anticipating, in the future for sure.
The new one's going to have the rain cover for clubs. I know it's not.
Yeah. So this is where we just kind of show the color. Yeah, none of the options are on there. So they'll have. They're going to have 2 sand bottles instead of the bucket because all the shovel will scoop spray. We'll have 1 cooler. It'll have the rain cover. It'll have the GPS. They'll have new screens or 10-inch screens. So you'll have all the same features that we currently have. The new ones will also have, which I think most of them no longer work, but we'll see how the new ones do. But they've got, I think it's maybe on the next slide actually, some of it. Yeah, so this is just some different features. So kind of got a redesigned dash. They've got both USB and USB-C charging ports on them. The reverse switch is up there by the key now instead of under your leg. So now this version does show that brake, that electric brake, but my understanding is that unless that's something that's changed, I don't think that's an option with the lead acid cars.
And speakers? Integrated speaker? Oh.
I'm not 100% sure I don't think that's on that slide. That's not an option we selected. They had most everything. I don't think we're gonna get the speakers.
Good.
That was their slide. I couldn't cut that out. So you'll have all the same features. Hopefully a few new ones and a little better looking screens.
Heated seats too.
Heated seats. Yeah. Anybody have any other questions about golf cars?
When you get here?
So, if we get the votes tomorrow,
So it's not canceled.
we got hopefully, yeah. So, mid to late January is kind of the anticipated date.
Was it the last meeting or the meeting before that we talked about the advertisements for the screens? Was that last meeting?
I can address that if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Our sports authority's met a couple times. Just yesterday, we terminated the contract with our consultant. We're a year in with nothing yet. So we're going to work on Siegel first and then potentially look at Old Fort. So we've got to reconvene and see what was not working and re-strategize.
Gotcha.
So we don't want to do too many. We want to make sure we refine the process before we get too deep into it. So that's breaking news for you. But we're going to take a step back and just reassess why it has not been working and what approach was taken that's not been functioning well.
Any other questions about the carts?
Are these designed, you may not know this, but if that process gets traction and we decide to start doing advertisements, which I'm assuming would be income revenue that could go back towards purchasing golf carts later, right? If I remember correct, that was kind of the idea. Are these programmable where you can start doing that at some point?
Yeah, they already have that feature. So basically, now this software is probably slightly different, but if it operates like our current software, and so we're going to have all the same features in that software that we have now.
Gotcha.
So if and they're all, it's a phone call add-on if it's not, but it's there. And so essentially it gives you an opportunity for an advertisement at the tee box and at the green of every hole. So you could have up to 36.
Nice.
And so we've even utilized that for a couple events. We've had, I think, maybe the FCA tournament, a couple, so if they format the image correctly, it takes an hour to upload and everything, but it's not a very complicated process.
Good.
And can be done.
My recommendation in our reapproach is going to be that we handle a lot of this stuff internally. We don't need a consultant going, when somebody can come in and just talk to Trey and sign up for a year-long, whatever that looks like. We don't need somebody taking a percentage of that. It's not like a $150,000 annual sponsorship for a building or something. So that's what I'm going to recommend, how we proceed.
I think you'll get some traction out of that.
I think once it happens, I think people are going to be coming and asking. There's no need for a third party.
Yep.
I mean, we could put an ad, asking for an ad. What's your ad here?
I think the first time you put a whole sponsor up and people are playing, the word starts spreading, So you have to develop.
I'll take 20% for that.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Anything else about the carts? Robert? Our third topic this morning, a new business, is the operational changes for 2026.
Just a couple things here, hopefully mostly good. I'm going to start with the bottom one because we've already done this something last year after the renovation. Beginning December 1st, cart path only. We'll stay that way through. I think it was about 1st of April, I think, last year, wasn't it, Marty, something like that?
Yeah, it was a little bit harsher winter
Yeah.
than maybe we'll have this year, we'll see.
So, until the fairways start greening up, Marty gives us the okay. Huge difference, I think, coming out of that in the spring. So, we're going to continue with that. And then a couple other changes, kind of hopefully looking maybe, if y'all are okay with this. Maybe try to do something at the first of the year. First one is just changing the normal 5-day out booking window for general public tee times to 7 days. I'm not 100% sure, but my assumption is in the past it's been because of the amount of phone calls that we would get on a Saturday. So you're checking in customers and you've got all these phone calls coming in. How everybody books online. And the ones that are playing on Saturday would probably want to, while they're there, book for next Saturday. So I think kind of where we're at now, I think it's just easier for, hopefully the customer to, I think 7 days is kind of the norm. So that's something we can do after the first of the year. The other one, this is, we talked about this kind of nine-hole, I mean, we've not had a twilight rate in a number of years. And I think Austin, maybe you brought it up one time, we were talking about the nine-hole rate, and that was an option. But I think there's always kind of that window of tee times between 4 hours to sunset and about 3 hours to sunset, where every time, we're having a conversation with the customer about, I know you like to play 18 holes, but there's people in front of you. You're probably not going to get 18 in. Do you want to pay for 9? Do you want and some people just take that the wrong. Well, you don't think I can play? It's like that's not about that. But so we're looking at, and what we also found is that hour kind of segment of tee times. Maybe one out of that, say, 60 times was that first one, maybe, or one that they saw the group in front of them put after 9, paid for the back 9, and almost everybody just did 9-hole rates. So, we'll have to word it carefully, but basically, if they're within 4 hours of sunset or less, we'll only book them for 9 holes. So they're going to book 9 holes over the phone, they're going to book 9 holes online, but they'll have the option to come in. And, if they ask about playing more holes, we'll have maybe a twilight rate, which is kind of an add-on, and then they can play till sunset, wherever that day is. I think that's an easier conversation to have. And if we can get even just one group to do that, and, that could be close to $20,000 more a year, maybe something we're missing out on. So we can certainly tweak it. I mean, nothing's set in stone. This is kind of what we've discussed, is hopefully something that can be both beneficial to us and hopefully the golfer as well. So if y'all got any questions or comments about that, we can look at changing or doing that. The $15 rate, outside of like the senior walk-in rate or junior rate, everybody, which those aren't really the customers that are generally doing that anyway, but outside of those people, it's a deal compared to the 18-hole rate. So I'll answer your questions you guys have.
Hey, Trey. So
Yeah.
just a question.
Sure.
Is the new norm going to be that 4 hours before sunset, you can only book 9-hole rates?
Well, that's currently how it's set.
Okay.
And we just had that same and it was always that conversation like, hey, you can pay for 18, but we don't allow people to book online for 18, just because if you book online for 18, then you've got that assumption that you're going to be able to get 18 in. Our pace plays 4 hours and 20 minutes for 18 holes, so that's what we're striving for. So that's kind of just where that's the kind of our cutoff. But I'm not going to stop you, but in this case, now if you're at that 4-hour window and you can get it in, you're going to get it in a little bit cheaper. You might only get 16 holes in, but at least you're not paying for 18 that way.
May have a few fist fights. Most people up in front not hurrying up to where you can get through.
Well, that's true.
Well, I was out there one day, I remember, this guy was trying to build his case that they could play faster than the people in front of them, but Chris finally told him, said, well, you may be able to play fast, but you can't run over the people that are already out there.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
I think it's a good idea. Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's free.
Trey, at what temperature do you have to cover the greens now?
Marty, you want to?
Marty?
No, it's sort of the later in the year, the earlier cold weather events you can kind of get away with, but like by this time of year, you've had enough cold weather that the soil temps are way down and they can get below freezing pretty easy, so we'll be covering when the 20-degree mark is sort of like the threshold, you might say, but it's sort of dependent on the weather before and after that low temp too. If you have a 50-degree day going into one night of 20 degrees, you don't really have that big a deal. But so with this weather event we're having this weekend, we're probably going to need to cover
I know
you know,
it's Monday morning, it's supposed to be about 20 degrees, yeah.
yeah, so we're gonna have like below freezing for over 24 hours, like up to 36 hours or something like that. So we would definitely want to be covered in an event like that. So that's sort of the threshold. I'm on an email chain with a lot of courses in the area, and there's a discussion that goes on about that. And so we, I guess collectively, some people kind of make a decision. So we're kind of in that same situation. We're kind of following the trend, so to speak, with everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Again, what Marty's talking, Cleve, you give us some idea of what you got planned for next year?
Well, hopefully we're going to have a beautiful spring and not like this last year, and have some healthy turf coming out. That's my hope. You don't always know, but we're going to try to achieve greater than normal expectations. As always, is our goal to give the golfer the biggest bang for their buck, make them feel like they're getting a deal, a good quality golf experience for the money they spend. And that's our goal every year, and we're going to continue to do that. We don't have any major change or anything like that on the radar. We're trying to get a hold of this grass a little bit still, you know. So that's going to be the focus, probably, is greens, like always, you know. Hopefully have a longer, higher turf quality ball roll experience on the putting greens is our goal, as we're getting used to managing this grass, so to speak.
How far down is that grass grown, do you know?
Oh, yeah, I mean, we're getting some establishment for sure. We're getting, whenever we do a sample or something like that pool, and check depth of roots, and we're checking our sod layer and stuff like that. It's all working. It's all happening. You know, we're getting a very much more established root system. The sod layer, which is sort of takes a long time for that to go away. But we're going to continue to try to do some things that kind of inhibit ball roll on the greens. Is we'll continue to do some solid tine aerification, some less invasive aerifications that are like needle tine and ninja tine. There's a thing that's called ninja tine, and we'll do stuff like that that kind of help promote that root depth and establishment still. We'll do that a little more aggressively these earlier years, and we'll play around with doing less of that, you know, as we go forward. But it's all happening down beneath the surface. It's all working now pretty good.
Very good.
That dry check was a big help to that we did this summer. It was slow healing up. You can see some of it hanging around, but that's just sort of the nature of that. And the grass we had too.
Yeah.
Anything else, Trey, on what you got on the screen there?
No, sir.
Our next subject is the 2026 tournament and golf programming.
Yeah, so just kind of a couple key events and some dates, some things we've already got on the books for next year. We've got, got the Tennessee PGA 3 Pro Scramble, State Am Qualifier, PGA Pro Am Series, 2 different Snuds Tour events, got a US Am local qualifier, kind of penciled in July 6th and 7th, and then depending on what Marty does, but that's kind of, we do a bigger aerification. That'll be after 4th of July, sometime in that middle, early to middle of July time period, based on kind of the event schedule. Do a second day. This was kind of a new event for us last year. They, a lot of the county schools played they had an I-24 tournament. I think they were at Cedar Crest last year for round 1, and then they were at Old Fort for round 2. I'm not sure where they're gonna be out for round one, but they're looking to do day 2 again at full court.
Who does that? Who's the organizer of that?
That is Kevin Jones. He's with Rock.
Mr. Rockvale.
Yeah.
And then-
Yeah, whoever did the region.
Right, yeah, Rock.
So, I'll get you guys on that.
Yeah.
Clay, are we making any money on these tournaments?
Yeah, so they'll pay us for everything. Most of the junior stuff, they're somewhere between $30 to about $35 a kid.
Yeah.
Plus, a lot, especially the junior tournaments, and we'll have a lot of spectator carts, so, for $30 for a spectator cart, which is kind of where everybody else is at, so. Yeah, there can be, there's always, every event that we do, whether it's a shotgun start, fundraiser, or, which those we've kind of moved to flat rate pricing on, because we're going to make sure we get our money on those. If you could just have a full packed out tee sheet and regular play, that's still probably your best option for most days. But these are some of the events that we think, kind of for some good status kind of events to have. We don't obviously want to overload the course and Marty's team and schedule, but these are supporting the local high-level amateur golf and junior golf, and so everybody likes coming to Old Fort, and so hopefully that says some good things about us and the course, and so we like supporting those events. They're always fun to do. I think you end up, you get the event out there, but then you end up getting the kids coming out and playing practice rounds, or the guys playing in the qualifiers coming out and playing practice rounds, and so throughout the year, so there's always some kind of residual from that as well. But, they do pay to come out there. Now, in the past, I will say the USGA events, they have not, but I believe they have moved to where they're paying for those events now also. So that's just kind of some of the outside events. And then obviously we've got, this is our Men's Golf Association schedule. We've got, basically one event each month starting in February. Similar schedule to last year. We've got one kind of new format, a little kind of a different take on the same format, but in April, the format stable for, but basically still in the Lamb Group's game for that one. So, but you can pick a partner, and then we'll put you on the format team. So we've got our club championship at the same time kind of last year in August. And, we might, I didn't have printouts of this because there's still maybe 1 or 2 changes. And actually, these are kind of the dates that will likely be. But the other part of this is we'll have our banquet. We're looking at Friday, January the 16th, I believe is the day we selected. We'll do that at the airport this year. I think Alabama is going to cater it for us. So we might have 1 or 2 events with the format we may talk about, see what events people like and didn't like. But for the most part, the big events are set, and this will be the dates of the events. So that's kind of what we've got going on for that next year. And then we've got a lot of another full year of junior golf. We'll start registration March 7th for that. We'll do a spring Linksters again, kind of April-May time frame. And then we'll do a fall Linksters. It'll be kind of a August-September time frame. And then in the middle of that, while school's out, we've got kind of a couple different things. We've got Snag, which is basically kids 5 and under. A Bloomfield Clinic, which is, these are just extra, smaller group instructional clinics for those same kids that will be in maybe the Linksters programs, kind of for a bigger age range. Then we've got the Tour Series, which is kind of that stepping stone between maybe Linksters and your maybe your middle school golf team, or maybe the SNEDS tour, where you're playing your own ball, but you're playing, the course there at Bloomfield. So maybe those, even younger, but, higher level junior golfers want to play their own ball. And then we've had really good turnouts with the parent-child tournaments. We'll do that again over there on June 20th. So that's kind of our anticipated junior golf program for this year, for this coming year. Of course, we've got a lot of other things that are not listed here, but those are just kind of some of the highlights. So we'll have at least 2 sessions of we've got 2 sessions planned for PGA Boat, kind of in the same time period as the Linksters, so kind of a spring and a fall for our veterans, and then we've got all kinds of our senior league, ladies league, and all kinds of other things as well. So a lot of stuff happening, but those were just some of the highlights. So.
It's a busy place.
It's good, yeah.
It's a busy place. Any other questions about the golf program next year? Anything else on that, Trey?
Nothing on the golf programs.
Okay, what the turnouts golfing, nothing else there? Any old business that we need to bring up?
I just got a question. The tee boxes at Bloomfield, I hadn't seen them. I mean, they're working the way we hoped they would work.
Yeah, I should have put pictures in here. I'm glad you asked me. That was actually the only thing I was going to mention there. Somebody asked me about those this morning. Yeah, we got those put in sometime in October, middle October, and yeah, as far as, the feedback's been really good. Operationally, I don't.
Oh, yeah,
it's kind of toward the end of the growing season, so.
Yeah, no, it's been great. If you go hit off of them, it's a nice experience. People are spinning the ball now, I can tell you that. Seeing balls back up on greens now, so it's kind of fun,
That's fun.
It's essentially, I think it's 6 by 12. I believe that's the size, and it's what's over there. Basically a square, and the hitting area is pretty much what we have at Old Fort. It's that same type of turf. And then there's a small, I think maybe a 2 or 3 inch border that's the taller, kind of rough, kind of mimics rough around the edges of it. So the feedback's been good.
Good.
Any old business that we need to discuss?
That was the only thing I had for that.
Okay. What about any other business? Any other comments?
Only last 2 things I had. You have a handout of kind of the dates for next year. What we've got tentatively scheduled for the golf commission. Then the only other thing I had is after today, it was 11. What'd you have? Got our kind of just had it with kind of combined with Parks and Rec, but this year it'll be just golf. We'll have it out in the snack bar area. What do we have for lunch, Wendy? You told me.
Brisket, beans, mac and cheese, and banana pudding from Slick Pig.
Way better than Moe's. I'm glad I waited.
Moe's is pretty good. Got a coffee, eat a barbecue. It's pretty good.
We decided to break the Christmas lunches back. That was a directive from a former city manager, and we decided it was too much of a weird meshing, and we feel like, golf didn't have it was just kind of awkward. I don't know. Is that the best way to say it?
Yeah,
it was fine, but
yeah.
you have so many Parks people, then I feel like it's just a little bit uncomfortable. So.
That's fine.
No, you get what I'm saying. I'm just saying, I wanted it to feel more comfortable for the golf department to be able to, I'll shut up, sorry.
I think the people guys enjoy it. They're going to appreciate it.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank each of our commission members for their attendance this year and for their work and for the courses, and thank the staff and the workers at Old Fort, doing a great job, and I appreciate you. I was going to mention the lunch, and we've already done that. That's today at 11 at Old Fort. I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and remember the reason for the season. Anything else?
Can I give two quick updates?
Absolutely.
The renovation of Old Fort, the original ball field's complete, so that's starting to be used. It looks a lot better.
That is beautiful.
So that's open. I think it changes the landscape. We're looking at now, just as it pertains to golf, redoing all of the signage within Old Fort Park. I think it really doesn't represent everything that's encapsulated there, and we want to highlight the golf course. There's so much there now, so coming off of 96, Old Fort Parkway, and then throughout, we're going to look at redoing all the directional signage throughout the park.
Well, they did a first-class job, it looks like, yeah.
Yeah, what is that, the surface?
It's a synthetic turf.
All right, I mean, parking lot.
Oh, it's a pervious paver, so all the water comes through. Drainage.
Okay.
So we raised that whole area, and you can tell even from the road, 18
Yeah,
inches
yeah.
at the lowest. But that helps all that water that just sat there forever and ever. It helps it dissipate and correct and go into a storm drain. So the field actually helps with the storm water as well.
Yeah.
It collects, goes down into headers and dissipates underneath down to the river.
I don't know, it sure does look nice.
It does.
Turn it in there, yeah.
Nothing further, we're adjourned.